On today's episode, don't you hate it when you're sitting around discussing what really is the fastest game bird in the world? Don't fret, we have a story about that kind of book. Mom's here, let's talk about it. Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Books, Banter and Beyond. My name is Rob. This is my mom, Karen. And today we're going to talk about a really fun one here. It's a book that still to this day is probably one of the most well known books ever. We're going to talk about the history of the Guinness Book of Records, why it was created at first, and how it would eventually become the book that we know today. So, the story goes in 1951, a man by the name of Sir Hugh Beaver was the managing director at the Guinness Brewery, hence where we get the name for the Guinness Book of Records. According to the official history, he and a group of others were sitting around at the pub debating what the fastest game bird was. But they were very upset that there was no proof or any physical writing to prove any of the specific answers because everybody kind of had their own viewpoint of what that bird was. So he decided to go out and not for entertainment purposes, but specifically for reference purposes, to create a book or at least a pamphlet that would have factual information to settle these kind of arguments between people. He hired professional researchers by the name of Norris and Ross McWhirter to compile and verify all the information that he wanted. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, the book began as this reference to settle arguments, and the first edition was published in 1955 as a promotional giveaway throughout various pubs. So it wasn't even a book that was meant to be sold,
Hmm.
or it wasn't a book really to be given to the normal folk. It was specifically people that were settling these debates. And I got to say, it's funny that it wasn't a novelty that it's become. It was actually referenced, like it was something that you would
Wow.
use in school or at
In
work.
addition to
It
the encyclopedia, in addition.
exactly.
Okay,
So
that's cool.
does knowing this fact right here kind of change the way you see the book today? Knowing that it wasn't originally just a fun fact book, it was actually
I think it's interesting. I think it's totally interesting. Another place to get your info. How does it is it like Snopes?
well, let's go into how it became the global bestseller that it would eventually become. So, the first edition unexpectedly became so popular in the UK within months of its release. Again, Britannica describes the Book of Records as one of the best selling copyrighted books of all time.
Okay.
Again, what became his promotional item quickly turned into a commercial publication with all of these verified authoritative facts and references.
Mhm.
The book would then eventually expand internationally, translated into many, many languages, and adapted for different regions as well. The Guardian, that we know of, they later described it as a rise of worldwide publishing phenomena that grew out of a simple need for reliable answers.
Mhm.
So again, it's a very specific, succinct history of where it went. Even when it became worldwide, other companies would describe it as specifically reference book. And I guess it still is, but if you look at what it is today, it's more of a, "Hey, did you know?"
And it's record
And let
breaking. It's like people that broke records. I mean, that's how I've
yeah,
always looked at
exactly.
it, right?
It's things that aren't necessarily as important in terms of reference. They're more, the biggest. Well, I think one of them is the most rubber bands in a ball or something like that. It's
Right.
kind of
Or how
things
many
that
hot
just
dogs? The most hot dogs somebody said
exactly.
that
So with that said, and I'll answer as well. Why do we think that we're drawn to the records, even if this book was meant to be more of a reference? Like, for me, I like the facts better. So why is it that we've kind of turned a fact book into a record book?
well, I think just right off the cuff, I think people like to think that maybe they can break a record. They can be that person that does
Yeah.
that can, do that many. And so they're looking to see what the record is if they want to go after that record. I mean, we even today you see on TV sometimes, or you read about it in the newspaper that somebody broke the Guinness World Book of Records doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So it's like you're breaking records rather than just, it doesn't just create or a place for facts. It's a place to, your records can be broken. I mean, it feels like it shifted. It's no
I mean,
longer.
I would definitely have to say the person who created this is probably not a very happy camper knowing that his book now has basically become a place just
Yeah, he's
for
probably rolling
random.
around in his grave right now saying, "What did you do? Why did you do it?"
Exactly.
Right?
So, how did this book evolve and why is it still here, basically? So, over time, as we've just been mentioning, the book became much more visual and accessible, more so for younger readers. And I think it kind of has to do with the fact that it's all about, the crazy records that people have broken. Um, it's also evolved to other media. So there have been short TV shows, there have
Right.
been live events. So it's not just a record in a book anymore. It's something that you can listen to, that you can see. Um, and then it's because the verification has become very formalized, which I guess in a way sticks to the point of everything has to be verifiable and everything has to be
Right.
real. So at least that part of the book has stayed the same.
Right. Right.
Um, but it's very, it's a very odd, for me. Smithsonian Magazine put it this way: Guinness endures because it provides authority in a world flooded with unverified claims. Case in point, there you go.
Right.
Um, I definitely think, and for me, because I like reference stuff, I really do wish it was still more of a factual book. And I mean, many people will say you can still go online and go in an encyclopedia and find stuff there, and that's all true. But I think the fact that this book was meant to be a reference guide, I think it should have stayed a reference guide personally. But hey, whatever they did, they're still selling them. I think, what is it, every year there's a new one that comes out. So
And
I
there's a
think that
race to get into that book. I mean, literally, people want to be
right,
listed in the book to have been the one that's done more of this, higher, bigger,
right,
larger,
right.
all of that stuff. It sort of, Rob, feels like it's become a book of the people.
Okay, all
I,
right.
it's no, it because it people that are just normal everyday people that have broken a Guinness record end up in this book. So normal, it's not just the people that are authorities and famous people. It's the little, that's the difference, I think, is that you could end up in the Guinness Book of Records.
I guess in that case, that's kinda cool.
Yeah.
So, for
But
those who wanna break a
yeah,
record,
yeah.
go for it.
And I actually think this is all going to change with the advent of AI, and not the advent, it's been around for a while, but there's, in terms of searching for things like this, I wonder how that's going to change in terms of the Guinness Book of Records, because now you can search in a different way that you couldn't search before.
That is very true, yeah. I mean, yeah.
So we always like to end the show with the next chapter bookstore.shop. All sorts of books in there. They're all used, they're all gently used. That means somebody has held them and their life is in that. That, that sounds kind of creepy, actually, when I say it that way. Okay, forget that. But the book, there's a lot of books in there. I encourage you to go check it out. Find a book that you like. If you buy enough and you spend $35, it's free shipping. So go and do that as well. Any last thoughts, Rob?
I will say what I always say, go read a book.
The dog's barking. All right. See you next time, everyone. Bye.